morning, everybody. My name is Peter C. We're here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado, and today we're going to be looking at a 2021 leisure travel van. This is a really awesome used motorhome. This is the Wonder model, and it's called a 24RL floor plan, which stands for rear lounge. So there's a really awesome rear lounge in the back of this coach, which we'll take a look at when we get inside. But first off, the Wonder is going to be built on a Ford Transit rear-wheel drive chassis. This one has the champagne full body paint, which is this really nice kind of lighter gold and black color. Ford Transit's powered by a 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost engine, which makes 310 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. And as far as dimensions, this coach is going to be 24 feet 9 inches long, so just under that crucial 25-foot mark. It's going to be 7 feet 11 inches wide and exactly 10 feet tall. So we'll get started with doing a quick tour around the exterior before we head on inside. So again, this is going to be a regular gas engine, not a diesel like you'd see on a Unity or a lot of these other Class C motorhomes. And this one comes with these upgraded LED headlights, so a lot brighter than what you have just from the stock. We also did brand new tires all the way around on this coach. And we'll take a look at some of our exterior bays here. So this first bay is just going to be all storage. It's one really long storage bay. And all of your storage bays are going to be covered with that carpet felt all the way throughout. So it helps with road insulation and anything, you know, rattling around as you're going down the road. Right here is going to be our Truma AquaGo. So this is your tankless water heater. It is powered by propane. Your propane tank is going to be in this next compartment right here. This is a 13.2 gallon propane tank, and this is going to power that water heater as well as your furnace, because you have a 16K BTU propane furnace for this coach. Back here is going to be our wet bay. So on the left side here, we actually have a hot and cold water hookup for a little exterior shower. You have your freshwater inlet, and then over here we're going to have our macerator switch, because this coach does have a macerator pump, which your black tank hose right there. And you also have a cable and a satellite hookup as well. And then above that is going to be kind of your little exterior garage. So right now we have our 30 amp power cord stored in here, but just a little bit more storage space. And then we'll head around the back. So you have this really nice two-piece rear fiberglass cap. This does come with the tow hitch, and you do have a 5,000 pound towing capacity, and then a backup camera all the way up top. And then coming down the other side, we're gonna have our generator. So this is a 4,000 watt Onan generator, and this is a gasoline generator. So this is actually going to be fueled by the chassis fuel tanks, because again, this is a gas motorhome. And this one also comes with an optional upgrade, which is the exterior table. So it's this really nice fold-out table you get that'll just clip on to these two little holders right on the side of the coach. You have your fold-out legs right there. Really easy to put away, and this will get stored in that little garage section we looked at on the driver's side of the coach. But really nice option to have, because this will sit under your automatic Carefree awning that'll come out. You also have outlets right here next to it, so if you wanted to plug in any kind of appliance, electric cooktop, something like that, you're going to have power outside to do that, and a table to use it right by your door. And then the next bay here is going to be our batteries and our inverter. So on the left side, we're going to have two 6-volt AGM house batteries, and those are brand new house batteries as well. We actually did replace those batteries. And then on the right side is going to be your 2,000 watt Xantrex inverter. Now right beside that, just another skinny storage bay. And then one more small storage bay over here next to the passenger side. All right, so now we'll head on inside. You do have an automatic step and a nice deep footwell right here. So if you wanted to store shoes, boots, anything dirty you want to keep in the footwell, you have a really deep space here under the footwell to do that. All right, now as we come on inside, we're gonna head back to the lounge area to start off. So again, this is called a 24RL floor plan. Your RL stands for rear lounge. So right now, this is set up as the lounge. You have this really nice L-shaped couch. This is all ultra leather furniture, really plush, very comfortable. And what I love about the lounge floor plan is if you look to our right side here, you have these huge windows. So if you're sitting in a national park or something, you know, somewhere with a view and you want to sit in your camper but still really get that nature feel, you have these beautiful panoramic windows to be able to see, you know, see whatever the wonder is that you're looking at in wherever you're camping. Now you're gonna have two opening windows up top. So these are just screw out windows. We're gonna let in a nice bit of fresh air back here. On the left side, you're gonna have another screw out window as well as your emergency exit. So if you want to open those windows on both sides, you can get plenty of cross breeze in here. These are also going to have blackout shades. So we just have these pull down blackout roller shades, and they have these nice clips on the side just to keep them up against the window so you don't have any light creep coming in underneath those shades. And on our other side, we're gonna have the same MCD roller shade that'll cover this top window, and then you also have a curtain that'll clip into these button snaps and cover your lower window. And then as far as storage back here, we're gonna have some overhead storage all the way across the back. And these are pretty deep storage bins, probably about 18 inches deep. And then more storage on our other side. And then we also have a little bit of wardrobe space over here as well. So your top one is gonna have a cabinet door, or your bottom one's gonna have a cabinet door. Your top one is just open. So you can utilize that whatever way you want. You can put a curtain rod in there and use that for coats, anything like that. On our other side is going to be our wardrobe. So this top one is going to have a curtain rod in there. So good spot for, again, coats or any hanging storage needs that you have. And then 3 drawers down below that. This is going to be that curtain we talked about. And then also in your lounge, you do have a TV back here with a Bluetooth soundbar as well. This coach also does come equipped with the WineGuard satellite system. So you do have the ability to have satellite TV and this Bluetooth JBL soundbar. So if you want to use your cell phone and just use that as a speaker, you could utilize it that way as well. We also have some storage down below our TV. And then just some shelves up here where your remotes are stored, and another one of those curtains for the window. Now, if we switch places here again, Jody, we will turn this into your Murphy bed. So right now this is set up as your lounge. You know, this is how you would use it when you're at your campground, you just want to relax. When you're ready to go to bed at night, this will turn into a Murphy bed. So what we're gonna do is just pull out our cushions right there. And then this whole bed is gonna fold down. So you have a little release for the travel lock on the bed. This will come up, and then this whole thing will fold down into your Murphy bed. And this is about a queen size Murphy bed. I believe it's 60 inches wide by 76 inches long. So right about the size of a normal queen bed. And people always ask, like, can you leave, you know, your sheets and your blankets on this? You can definitely leave a sheet and a blanket on it as long as you're not using like a super thick comforter or duvet or something like that. You do have a little bit of space, a little bit of empty space when this folds up, so you can leave the bed made, just nothing that's going to be too thick. And then when you're ready to put this away, all you're going to do is pick that back up, slide that arm down, and that's it. You can place all your cushions. And the whole setup and disassembly, you know, really only takes about a minute. Some Murphy beds are a little bit challenging to put back together, but these are super, super easy to use. All right, so now we'll take a look at our shower and our bathroom. This is one of the things I really love leisure vans for, is I think the way they design their showers is just so convenient. It really makes a small space feel a lot bigger. So here on the passenger side is going to be our shower. And the other thing that's really nice is how this door sort of doubles as a separation of space. So this will clip at the top and completely separate off your lounge and shower area from your living room up front. And then in our shower here, we have a skylight up top. You do have a light in the shower. We also have this little hanging rod in here. So if you have any wet clothes or anything you need to dry, you can hang that in your shower basin and use it to dry in there. This is also pretty roomy shower. You know, for a small Class C motorhome, I'm about 6 foot. I can comfortably fit my head in here. I don't feel too claustrophobic. And your shower door is going to be built right into this side wall there. Now, the other cool thing with the bathroom is you can clip this door open, and then our other door will open out that way. And now you sort of have a full bathroom feel. So you have your shower on one side, you have your toilet, your sink, your mirror, and everything on the other. So from the top, you do have an exhaust fan here in the bathroom. We have a little bit of cabinet storage in there. You have this really neat mirror. So this is sort of a, you know, optional mirror. It'll magnet in place up here, but you can also move it over and stick it this direction. You have another mirror on the back wall, and then you have a window just to allow a little bit of natural light in there. So whatever way is kind of most convenient for you to use your mirror. We have our little basin sink. And then this little magnetic rod on the back. So you can get any different accessories, and this back rod here is magnetic. So you can get these little magnetic clips, and you can clip those on. You can get the, whatever this is, you know, use this for soap, cups, anything like that. Obviously, they're using this as a cup holder. But you'll see these little magnetic rods up in the kitchen as well. Really convenient feature because you can sort of accessorize them however works best for you. Also have a little bit more storage underneath the sink. And then some cubbies along the wall right here. All right, so now we'll head up into our living area. And head into our kitchen. So first off, when you're heading into your kitchen, you have a pull-out pantry with this little travel lock. So plenty of room for, you know, any food, anything like that you need to bring with you on the road. I think one thing, these smaller motorhomes, you know, this is a small Class C without a slide under 25 feet. One of the things motorhomes like that always struggle with is having enough pantry storage. So having these pull-out pantries, I think, is just it's really a game changer for that. I also love the fridges they put in these. So this is a 2-door Dometic refrigerator. It is a freezer and a fridge. But the way these doors work, you can actually open these from either side. So if you're getting to it from back in the lounge area, you can open it towards the kitchen. But you can also open it from the kitchen towards the lounge. Same thing for your freezer. So it keeps you from having to shuffle past the refrigerator in this tight hallway here. You can open it from whichever side that you're sitting on. And this is our freezer up top. Decent sized freezer, again, for a small motorhome like this. And you're also going to have a convection microwave. All right, now moving up into the kitchen. So you have this L-shaped countertop. I really think this is one of the most, you know, ergonomic designs for a kitchen, because it's not just a tiny thin countertop where you're banging your head on the overhead cabinets like you might see in some of these. You can easily get to all this space just standing in place, and again, you don't have anything kind of obstructing you overhead. We have a really big stainless steel sink here. And again, we have this magnetic bar on the back with all these accessories. So we have a paper towel holder, we have some hooks here, and we also have a little bucket that our remotes are kept in for your TV. So again, we have the same TV and Bluetooth soundbar that we had in the rear of the coach. And again, you do have satellite, so you'll have satellite TV. Up top, you have sort of like a spice rack. So this is just a couple inches deep. and it's not a cabinet door or anything, but really good spot for any random items you need to keep in your kitchen. I always call it a spice rack. We also have an outlet right on top of our countertop. So if you need to plug in a coffee maker, tea kettle, anything like that, you're gonna have a 110 outlet right there to do that. And opening window right behind our countertop, again with that built-in MCD blackout shade. This is also going to have a 2-burner cooktop. So this will run off of that 13.2 gallon propane tank that we were taking a look at the exterior. And another nice thing about this countertop is you can actually increase your counter space. So we have this little fold down right here. It just gives you even more prep space. So again, really clever design. I think Leisure just does so many really clever things with the way they design their motorhomes. All right, and then we have some more storage up above. And we're also gonna have our Blu-ray player for the TV in there. So if you wanna stream, hook up to your TV via HDMI or anything like that, you can use that to do so. Then we'll take a look at our storage underneath the sink. So they give you these 2 hooks here and 3 cabinets or 3 drawers. So this top one's going to have all our manuals for this fan. Really deep drawer in the middle. And these are all going to be soft close drawers. And then another nice deep drawer at the bottom. And then finally, we also have some storage over here. So your trash can is built right into this door. So as you swing it out, there's your trash can. And then underneath there, we're gonna have our water pump, some of the guts of the coach. All right, now moving back into sort of our living dinette area. So you'll have these 2 opposing sofa seats with the table mount right in the middle. So this table, you can swivel this whichever direction you want, and you have these 2 little fold-out arms on it. You can also raise this or lower it to whatever's most comfortable for you. You could raise it up equal to the height of the countertop if you wanted, and you could have a ton of countertop space all the way around you, depending on how much prep space you need. If you wanted to use like an induction burner or something, maybe you could use this as a cooktop for that. Griddle, anything like that. There's many different uses for this. But really easy to remove. That'll just pop out of the bracket right there. Set it on the back of this cushion. And then you just go ahead and pull that post out like that. The post doesn't lock in place, it just drops in there. And that's all it takes to remove your table. On the other side, same exact sofa seat. This one actually does not turn into a bed like you'd have on the Unity. There's just going to be 2 opposing sofas here. So you don't have the option to turn this into a twin bed. If you wanted that, you'd probably want to look at like the Unity model because that is something you'll see on those. Now, we have some overhead storage here in the living area, and this is going to be a cab curtain. So this cab curtain will button in place and isolate off those front windows in the cab just to give you some privacy in here. We have the same MCD blackout roller shades for all of our windows here. And then in our overhead compartment, take a look at some of the controls here. So this is going to be our solar charge controller. Not sure if we mentioned on the exterior, but this does have 200 watts of solar on the roof. And you could add additional solar to that as well. Right here is going to be the controls for our Truma AquaGo. So that is that continuous water heater. And then our Xantrex inverter controller right there. You also have this nice kind of hanging storage for coats as you're coming in the entryway. So we have 2 hooks right here, and then this matching ultra leather panel matching to all the furniture throughout this coach. So just make sure nothing's rubbing against the wood too much there, but really nice spot just to keep a jacket or a coat right as you're going out your door. And then you're gonna have another shade built into your door frame right there. This will actually magnet down at the bottom. So allows you to completely black out your motorhome. Now moving up to the front, our control panel. So this is, everything in this is going to be controlled by your touchscreen control panel right here. So on our home screen, we have a couple options here. We can see our fresh gray, black, and propane tank capacities. We can start or stop our water pump, start or stop our generator. We can see our house and chassis battery voltage. We can control the HVAC temperature, and then we have our light master on and off switches. So almost everything can be controlled right from the home screen. If you want to get a little more detailed, you can go into lighting and you can individually select your lights. Now, one of the cool things with this is if you see any of these lights with the up and down arrows, that means those lights are dimmable. So almost all of the lights, except for the assist handle by the entry door, every single light in here is going to be dimmable. So really allows you to, tone down the lights a little bit at night. Here's going to be our AGS. So AGS is your auto gen start. You can program your quiet time when you don't want it to start. You can program hours when you want it to start or stop. You can program it to be triggered by your HVAC load. So if your HVAC gets out of range of the temperature you set and needs to turn on, then that'll trigger your generator to start. So a lot of different settings you can play with in there. We're gonna have our climate controls here at the end. So this coach has a 15K BTU ducted AC unit with a heat pump. So from our climate here, we can turn on the AC, we can turn on the heat pump, we could turn on the furnace. Again, it's a 16K BTU propane furnace, and we can control our fan speed. And then finally, you just have your settings. So you can control if you want to display in Celsius or Fahrenheit, program your time, program your screen brightness. And then you can also pair this to a mobile app. So this uses the VegaTouch Mira app. That allows you to control pretty much everything that we took a look at on this screen just with your phone. So if you're laying in bed at night and you want to start or stop your generator, you want to turn off some lights, you want to change the HVAC temperature, you can do all of that from your cell phone. All right, so now finishing up in the cab. One nice thing Leisure does is they match the cab chairs. They reupholster them to match the cab chairs to all of the furniture throughout the coach. So it's going to be that matching ultra leather. Both of these front seats will be on a swivel pedestal, which means you can turn them around 180 degrees and face them towards the cab. So that allows you to have pretty much 4 adults sitting up here, 2 in the front and 2 in your sofa chairs. And you can all comfortably fit around that table that's mounted on your table right there. Oh, and actually one of the cool things I forgot to mention before we head up front is our skylight here. So another really cool feature with Leisure vans, you have blackout shade built in there, a day shade built into the frame, but you have this huge opening skylight. So it just allows you to get a ton of fresh air through here. And again, being that we have that day shade built in there, you can use that as a bug shade as well. So if you want to leave that open, but make sure you keep the mosquitoes or anything out, that's what that shade will serve its purpose for. All right, so now heading up into the cab, we have just a little bit of overhead storage along the top. And then I'll go ahead and start it real quick. So again, this is a used 2021. It's gonna have 45,700 miles on it. And this is a 2021 Ford Transit. So you do have some basic safety features like lane keeping assistance, active braking, cruise control, pretty basic stuff. Right here in the middle is going to be our backup camera. So when I put this in reverse, that's going to display your backup camera. So it just makes it a little bit easier to maneuver around. We also have our navigation here on the home screen, and this does support Bluetooth as well, so you can connect your phone to this and use that to play music through your coach. We have our HVAC controls right below that, and then our shifter here right in the center. All right, so only other thing we forgot to mention actually, which I'll go over real quick, is the capacities for your fresh gray and black tanks. So this is going to have 33.5 gallons of freshwater capacity, 26.4 gallons of gray water capacity, and a 35-gallon black tank. So pretty decent capacities, but a little bit more tailored towards, going to a campground, being hooked up to fresh water supply. But that'll wrap up our tour for today. If you guys have any questions about this coach, if you want to come by Transwest to check it out in person, you need something measured, anything like that, please reach out to me. All of my contact information is right here on this clipboard, so you can call or text me at 719-799-8357, or you can reach me at the email above. All right, thanks for watching our video.